Hello, everyone. Today we're talking about firing, and I have three things that you must do before you fire an employee. Now, firing is not a very fun thing to do. In fact, it doesn't ever get easier. So, how do you do this properly? Well, you prepare. You always have to prepare. Now, whether that employee is a bad employee or a really good employee, it's never easy. Honestly, it doesn't get easier with time. I remember once having a good employee, and they just weren't a fit, and they were having a hard time, and it just wasn't working out for anyone, right? And that seemed to be the best thing to do for the company and for the employee. And it wasn't easy, right? On the other hand, we did have a very, very lazy manager who everyone, well, most people, I would say, most people were relieved this person left, right? And even that termination wasn't easy. So always be prepared emotionally. But the three major things that I wanted to share with you today are as follows. First of all, have a valid reason. Now, legally, you should have a valid reason. You can't just fire someone because you don't like them. I think we all know this. Hopefully, we do. Anyway, um, having a valid reason means, did you manage their performance? Do you know what the real reason you want them to go is something that they have not been able to do right, even after you've corrected them several times. So think about that. Do you have records of those performance management? And records in HR means documentation. You must have documentation about whatever you've tried to do to correct that. And if you're terminating them for things like that, terminate in good faith. Terminate knowing that you have tried, knowing that you have tried to help them get better at what they do. Now, there's a different kind of termination as well, which is terminating for cause. What that means is that this person may have done something wrong and extreme, just like theft. It could be theft. It could be intentionally destroying property. It could even be lying. And in those cases, the law is generally on your side. But as the employer, you must always have proof. So make sure you have a valid reason. That's number one. Number two is entitlements. Now, employees by employment law have entitlements when you are letting them go. Now, entitlements simply means if they worked overtime, you have to pay that all out. If they've been with you for over 90 days or 3 months, just depending on where your jurisdiction is, then you need to pay them for at least a week's notice. Usually it's a week's notice. So um, and again, if it's not such a hard kind of termination, sometimes they could work through that notice time. It really depends on the type of termination it is and the type of employee, right? You don't want any backlash, but you want to make sure that you give them everything that they're entitled to. And also, don't forget, you need to give it to them within a certain time frame according to the law. And that differs by region. So don't forget that part. Also, thirdly, have a communication plan. Now, what's a communication plan all about? The communication plan really is just about making sure that your employees or your staffers who are left in the company actually have some sense of what is going on, right? You need to be able to communicate to them as transparently as you can. Now, no one's saying give them all the juicy details or tell them all the things that all the sensitive issues. No, that's none of their business, to be honest. It really isn't. And you really shouldn't be sharing anything that is private at all. It really is letting them know that and giving them comfort that you are fair in what you do and that you did have a valid reason for letting this person go. So communicating with them, a communication plan includes letting them know what's happened. Sally has had to leave. These are Sally's duties. Could you please do A, B, and C, and things like that. So if you have a plan, a succession plan for someone to get into Sally's role, start working on it and communicate that to those who are involved in that. That makes it easier for people to take someone leaving, especially if you have a small team. When you have a smaller team, it's, suddenly Sally's here and suddenly she's gone, right? It's good to tell them what's happened. Okay, so those are the three things I would say you should do. And it usually saves your brand. It makes sure that there's very little backlash, if any, from an ex-staffer. Okay, so a quick recap before we go, right? First of all, first thing, have a valid reason. Second of all, make sure you calculate those entitlements. And I might add, in calculating entitlements, budget for it so you know that you have everything you need before you actually go about letting them go. And thirdly, have a good communication plan. I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions or comments, write those below and I'll be happy to answer those. Thank you and have a wonderful, wonderful. Thanks for watching. I hope you got something out of this. And I hope this helps you in the management of humans. Please subscribe, like, and share. And also talk to me in the comment section. See you next time.